Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video I wanted to talk about my own personal top 5 V-trigger activations. I'm not talking about the V-triggers themselves, I'm talking about the activation of the V-trigger, right? Ideally you want an activation that sets you up for a good situation on hit. So for example, you get to do combos after, on block you get to mix up your opponent. Like here, this one is +3, Chun-Li is in throw range, so you can do that one and then throw them after or go for a shimmy. You also have to consider how easy or hard it is for your opponent to deny you that. As an example, if Ryu here is set to V-reversal, you will find that heavy kick legs, while it's amazing, if Ryu just V-reversals, I don't get to activate. Right? So while it is really good, Ryu can easily deny me the V-trigger activation. And with that, my number 5 V-trigger activation in the game, this list is in order by the way. My number 5 is Chun-Li standing heavy punch. Chun-Li standing heavy punch is a terrific V-trigger activation. This is because I said you have to consider the situation on hit and on block. And Chun-Li standing heavy punch is the most, or one of the most hit confirmable heavy pokes that can lead to an activation. So pretty much you should always get to activate and then combo after it. Being able to activate from your standing heavy punch and hit confirming that is one of the biggest differences between high level Chun-Li players and mid and low level Chun-Li players, right? This goes for her V-trigger 1 and her V-trigger 2. That is fantastic. With V-trigger 1, even if you happen to land this maximum range, you can still raw combo into light kick, bird kick, and then you dash up twice, your standing light punch will meet you both rises, and you are in a fantastic situation. The reason that this one is that good is because it is one of the most hit confirmable in the game, right? It is extremely reliable to hit confirm this. The poke itself is low commitment, so you are getting really good reward on hit. You are safe on block because this is -4, your opponent can't really do much about it, and it is very hard for your opponent to deny you that, right? They cannot forever dodge your standing heavy punch, and if they are doing that, they might jump, then you get to anti-air. Pretty much your opponent cannot just shut it down easily. And even as a bonus, if your opponent actually got to block it and they try to V-reversal, you can actually throw them afterwards. See, even on raw block, it is still a really good activation. In my opinion, one of the very best in Street Fighter V. And for number 4, we have Balrog's overhead from his V-skill 1, right? This is a very powerful V-trigger activation for a variety of reasons. The first thing is, of course, it's an overhead, right? It being an overhead by itself is really powerful. You can get into the situation from many things. Like you can do an EX dash punch and then into it. You can feint an EX dash punch and then get to it. You can feint a regular dash punch. Of course, your opponent, if they're trying to block it, you can feint and then go for a grab. So it is a very powerful, it's a very powerful move in general, right? And the strength of it is that when you do it and activate V-trigger, Balrog is +19. At +19, he gets to do whatever he wants pretty much, right? You can do whatever you want, you can go for a ton of resets, then maybe go for a command grab. You pretty much get the idea, right? Balrog gets free reign to do whatever he wants. But the strength of it is that, especially with V-trigger 2, is that on block it leaves Balrog in a very strong situation. When he does it, he's +7. He's not in throw range, right? So he have to move forward to throw you. So that is pretty alright. But notice that he's in command grab range and at +7, which means that he can just instantly use the threat of the command grab to grab you. So you might think, alright, I'm gonna try to walk out of it, right? Maybe I'll try to walk out of it, but the thing is, you can block this, tag you low, and then go to the command grab. So the threat on block is actually very powerful as well. You might think, alright, I might try to V-reversal. Let's here have Falk try to V-reversal. As you can see, she's gonna try to V-reversal. If Balrog does the same activation, he was +9. You know what +9 means? It means that he can get to throw her, right? He can regular throw, or he can even still command grab you, right? So it is very hard to V-reversal. And what makes this extra annoying is that because there is so much versatility in how he can do it, you know, just feint an EX or just an EX into it or whatever, it's hard to avoid, right? So you might think, alright, I'm gonna start to neutral jump to bait his dash punches and bait their cancels, which then he might be able to anti-air you and get a ton of damage and throw you in the corner 4. So overall, this leads to a ton of good situation and mix-ups on hit. It leads to mix-ups on block. It's hard to deny on block, and to play around it, you're gonna have to take risks, right? Which makes it a very, very strong V-trigger activations in my opinion. Absolutely one of the very best in the game. And now for our number 3, we are gonna talk about Cody's EX Zonk into V-trigger, right? Cody's EX Zonk into V-trigger is fantastic for many reasons. First of all, it's a move that you can easily combo into, right? It's a move that you can just throw out in the neutral, and if you happen to land this on hit, pretty much with V-trigger 2 especially, Cody can set up a very good scenarios. Like you can combo crouching heavy into Zonk, you're now +3 and you get to do a command grab mix-up, right? Or maybe set up the same situation here, your opponent's gonna be afraid to jump, and pretty much you get to do whatever you want. So on hit it sets up a very good scenario. On block it's also very, very strong, especially now with V-trigger 2. You will find that on block you can activate, Cody's gonna be +15 and very close to his opponent. That means that you can just walk up and then throw them, you can shimmy, you can go for the command grab. It's a very powerful situation to be in on block, right? And not only that, let's say your opponent is gonna try to V-reversal. Zeku have a 12 frames V-reversal, that is super fast, right? But the thing is, Cody have a good answers to that as well. So for example, if I try to activate here, I can't throw Zeku in this situation, right? If I'm mashing on my throw, I can't get him. But Cody can use his V-skill 2, sway the V-reversal and still gets the knockdown, which is fantastic. And if Cody have V-trigger 1 on, you can also one of the cool things about Cody actually is that he have different activation speeds for his V-triggers. So for example, his V-trigger 1 actually recovers faster. So because it recovers faster, he will be able to throw Zeku in the scenario. So he can get to throw EX Zonk, activate and throw Zeku out of his V-reversal. So with V-trigger 2, he can sway the V-reversal. With V-trigger 1, he can of course sway or just straight go into the grab. This is a very powerful V-trigger activation in my opinion. Many Cody players, sadly including myself, we autopilot a little bit with standing heavy kick or the target combos, which are really good activations, but honestly EX Zonk is super stupid, easily one of the best V-trigger activation tools in the game. For our number 2, of course, we have G's EX Dash Punch V-trigger activate. This is of course a superb V-trigger activation. The move by itself, the EX Dash Punch, is actually very good, have a ton of range, right? If you happen to land it, you can combo something like that, get it on corner carry, and on block the situation is truly messed up. What you will notice is when you do the EX Dash Punch and then V-trigger activate, G is +10. And +10 means that he can pretty much perfectly take into his command grab, right? You can straight up go to the command grab, or of course, let's say for example your opponent is gonna block the activation only. You can then do something like this and get whatever you want. So it is a very powerful mix-up. I think it speaks for itself on how powerful it is, right? The thing about this is of course your opponent can do their V-reversal, and when they do, he can still get a normal throw, but he can't command grab his opponent. The thing about this though, in my opinion, is that it is almost better to land it on block than it is to land it on hit. You're gonna get more damage on block, in my opinion. So for example, if your opponent, like let's set up the situation on hit, right? On hits you're gonna get something like that, which is 193, which is really good, and you got a lot of corner carry. But on block, you actually get quite a bit. On block you can go for the command grab, This should lead to a ton of damage, right? Or you can go and do an unscaled combo, like this for example. Now the opponent's not gonna block. Or you get to do an unscaled combo, which again will do a lot of damage. This V-trigger activation is of course very good, one of the best ones in the game, hands down. One of the reasons that G is one of the strongest characters in the game, and the move itself, the EX dash punch, is actually very hard to play around, so of course this one had to make the list. And now it's time for what I believe to be the best V-trigger activation in the game, and that is Guile Boom V-trigger activate. This activation is of course one of the most practical ones in the game. You're gonna see it almost every single match. You have spent the entire round trying to get Guile to the corner, trying to finish him off. You have to worry about so much stuff, but now everything Guile have to do is boom, V-trigger activate, and he got the corner back, right? Now he got you back mid-screen. He can combo now using his V-skill 2 and get you to the entire other end of the spectrum. So for example, he can do something like this now, right, and get you to the other end of the screen. So that is very powerful. He can of course combo into super, so there is a lot of things that Guile get to do, right? He can even like just straight out combo into flash kick, use the V-trigger to set up some space for himself, get some stuff like that going. So on hit, it's a very good V-trigger. It gets him out of the corner, could put you in the corner, could easily combo into super for a ton of damage. It is very powerful on hit. But what makes it very powerful is that on block, he's also plus a lot. So for example, now that you have gotten Guile, he's gonna V-trigger activate, dash up, and he's gonna be +5. So he can do stuff like that. He can throw you back in the corner. He can simply push you away with booms. So he can do stuff like that, and he got back almost half of the stage back for himself again. Now he have all of this to work with. It's very good. On block it's very good, on hit it's very good. Let's say for example that you try to V-reversal it. Let's now Mika is gonna V-reversal mine. Mika's gonna V-reversal, so he can boom, V-trigger activate. If you V-reversal, he can throw you backward to the corner, which of course is catastrophic, right? It's very hard to be cornered by Guile. Overall, it's a very powerful and very practical V-trigger activation. You will spend the entire round getting him to the corner, and once you do get him, you have to worry a lot about his normals, because most of his normals are amazing, and it's very hard to react to booms from this range, right? Like, it's very hard to do anything about boom from like the dash distance. It's pretty much safe, and this pretty much makes it a get out of jail card for Guile. On hit, he gets to do whatever he wants. On block, he gets to chip you out. He gets to create some distance between you and him. He can throw you backward if you try to V-reversal. Make it a very powerful. As a matter of fact, against characters like Mika, he can even do something like this if you have the read on the V-reversal and get a full combo punish on her. You can even neutral jump and punish V-reversals. He is that plus on block. And that is pretty much it for today's video. Of course, this is all very subjective. These are my opinions. You know, you can have your completely different opinions, and that's fine. Again, does it mean that Guile is the best character in the game? Does it mean that his V-trigger is the best V-trigger? This is not what this is about. This is all about the activation, right? Just the initial V-trigger activation. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. It helps the channel so much. I will be leaving a link to the Discord server and the Patreon page in the description. Thank you very much once more for watching, and stay safe.